The Black community has long suffered under the weight of systemic racism and discrimination. As white people, it is our responsibility to use our privilege to support and uplift the Black community. Here are a few ways that we can be better allies. Listen and learn. We need to listen to Black voices and experiences without interrupting or dismissing them. We should educate ourselves on the history of systemic racism and the ways that it continues to impact the Black community today. We should seek out resources, books, and documentaries that help us understand the issues. Next, speak up. We should use our privilege to speak up against racism and discrimination. We should challenge racist comments and behaviors, even if it's uncomfortable. Silence that which perpetuates racism. We should support Black-owned businesses in our communities. We should advocate for policies that support economic justice and equity. Donate to Black-led organizations. Financially support Black-led organizations that are working to address systemic racism and inequality. It can be done through regular contributions or contributing to certain campaigns and initiatives. We should also use our platforms for good as white people. We have access to platforms and audiences that the Black community may not have. We should use our platforms to amplify Black voices and perspectives, raise awareness about issues affecting the Black community, and promote positive change. Be open to feedback and learning from our mistakes, as we will make mistakes along the way. But it's important to acknowledge them, apologize, and learn from them. We should be open to feedback and willing to change our behavior and perspectives as we continue to learn and grow. Being a better ally to the Black community requires a willingness to listen, learn, and take action. It requires us to use our privilege for good, support Black-owned businesses and communities, and speak up against racism and discrimination. It's up to all of us to work towards a more just and equitable society, and being a better ally is an important step. If you like the content and benefit from it, give me a follow.
And rising kings and queens from Africa and across the ocean, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Much love and deep gratitude to all of you turning in today. Now, for decades, Black people globally have been labeled as angry, divisive, or playing victim just for telling the truth. But now, what I'm seeing, even white voices, even white people have decided to say the truth. Yes, from their own communities. They have decided to come forward. They decided to step forward, and now they are saying enough is enough. They are exposing white supremacy. They are challenging their own families. They are calling out their governments and even admitting that Black people have been right this whole time. Now, what's more shocking is that they are not just admitting it. They are begging others in their community to wake up. That's what's up. They are calling out others in their community to wake up. In today's video, I'm going deep and I'm going to break down exactly what is being said, and I'm going to play you videos of these white guys talking to you. So before I come back with my commentary, as I always do, because I have a lot to say, I want you to watch these clips and then we come back and talk more.
Can you imagine living in a United States where racism no longer exists? Can you imagine racism being something that we look at in a museum like an ancient artifact or only read about in history books, instead of being something that we see happening every single day? I know it might seem crazy to think about right now, but almost 20 years ago, many people thought that that day had arrived. When Obama was elected president in 2008, many people said that America had finally entered a post-racial age. They argued that now that the US had elected a Black president, race didn't matter as much as it used to, and racism was about to be defeated once and for all. However, these optimistic predictions didn't last long. As soon as Obama took the oath of office, hate crimes started to rise, and there was an explosion of far-right hate groups. Before Obama's victory, there was only a handful of right-wing militias, but afterwards that number went from dozens to hundreds. I saw this rise of hate groups firsthand. It was only a few days after Obama was elected when every family on my street got a strange letter in their mailbox. The letter was from a needy hate group called the National Socialist Movement, and it said, "Missing, a legitimate president in America." The letter echoed Trump's birther conspiracy, saying that Obama had yet to produce a valid birth certificate, and asked how did he even get on the ballot. The letter went on to say, decades of Marxist indoctrination have taken its toll on white America. White children have been taught to feel guilty about who and what they are. That only whites are racist and must be more progressive in their thinking. That multiculturalism and diversity are good for them and the only way to atone for the sins of their ancestors. Now, you know what's really scary? The language used by this neo-hate group in 2009 is the exact same language that Trump and his government officials use today. Just last month, Trump's White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller said, President Trump has fought the cancerous communist woke culture that was destroying this country. As we close the Department of Education and provide funding to states, we're going to make sure these funds are not being used to promote communist ideology. Miller said that the Trump administration is fighting to get critical race theory out of our school districts, which teaches children to hate themselves and to hate their country. He said that from now on, children will be taught to love America. Children will be taught to be patriots. By comparing the language of that hate group in 2009 and the Trump administration today, it's clear who and what really won the presidency in 2016 and 2024: racism. In fact, if we return to this letter from that hate group in 2009, we'll see that everything they were saying then is what Trump and his officials are saying now. This letter promoted straight-up lies, such as, illegals parade through our streets demanding amnesty. They murder 12 U.S. citizens a day. The letter also said, a white woman is assaulted by a black man every 9 minutes. That should sound familiar. That is exactly the same kind of rhetoric that Trump and other government officials have used for years to drum up fear against immigrants and people of color. Even though we know that all of this racist rhetoric is built on lies. That letter from 2009 ended with a familiar phrase too, America for Americans first. The fact that the same language that Nazis used in 2009 is being used by Trump and his government today proves that Obama's election did not usher in some beautiful and utopian post-racial age. Instead, what happened was a racist backlash that gave rise to Trump and is taking the country back to its darkest days of white supremacy. In fact, I would argue that right now, the United States is seeing a terrifying rise in racism. Everywhere you look, racism is becoming more acceptable and more open. I think that what we're witnessing is nothing less than the breakdown of what Michelle Alexander called our colorblind society. In 2010, Alexander published her famous book, The New Jim Crow: Mass Incarceration in the Age of Color Blindness. She argued that, in the era of color blindness, it is no longer socially permissible to use race explicitly as a justification for discrimination, exclusion, and social contempt. She believed that, rather than rely on race, we use our criminal justice system to label people of color criminals and then engage in all of the practices we supposedly left behind. In her book, Alexander argued that by the 1980s, the impact of the civil rights movement had created a colorblind consensus, where most Americans professed to no longer believe in the racist ideas that used to dominate the country. And even if they did, they didn't publicly express them because it was seen as socially unacceptable. Alexander pointed out that by the 1980s, real racial progress had been made. Surveys showed that 90% of whites thought black and white children should attend the same schools. 71% disagreed with the idea that whites have a right to keep blacks out of their neighborhoods. 80% of white people said they would support a black candidate for president, and 66% opposed laws prohibiting interracial marriage. I would argue that what we're seeing right now in 2025 is the breakdown of that post-civil rights consensus and a return to the casual and constant racism of the Jim Crow era. To confirm this theory, all you have to do is look at the comment section on this app. Every single day, I see some of the most disgusting and horrifying racism that I've ever seen in my life right here on TikTok. For example, I constantly see people posting racist pictures like this. The way that people feel so comfortable and confident being racist on this app is sickening and soul-crushing. Even though racism has always been with us, especially on the internet, this is a new development. It wasn't like this even a few years ago. The casual racism online has gotten worse. And I believe it's because Trump and his government have made racism acceptable, and they even encourage it. Racists feel more comfortable spreading their hate online, and now it's starting to spill out into the real world too. Just look at the recent Democratic primary for mayor in New York. The people who were against Zohran Mamdani made no effort at all to hide their racism, and this racism came from both the right and the left. People felt perfectly comfortable spreading racist lies about him and hating him simply because he was a non-white Muslim. Racists like Charlie Kirk attacked Mamdani for using his hands to eat, calling it gross third worldism. Laura Loomer said that if Mamdani becomes mayor of New York, there will be another 9/11. Others have called for Mamdani to be denaturalized and deported because he's not a real American. None of these people feel ashamed or embarrassed to be so openly racist because open and brazen racism is the new normal. Or rather, it's a return to what America has always been since the beginning. We don't live in a post-racial era. We live in a post-colorblind era. And in this era, racists are proud of their racism, and they're comfortable spreading their hate and ugliness everywhere they go. So I ask you again, can you imagine a United States where racism does not exist? Because honestly, right now, I don't think I can.
Hi there, just yelling into the void. So, there's something I've been suffering from since about 2015. I like to call it white fatigue. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with your petty prejudices. I'm exhausted with your casual racism. I'm exhausted with your complete lack of self-awareness. I'm exhausted with your misplaced superiority. I'm exhausted with you thinking you're not the problem. I am exhausted with your fear of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it is a fear. It's not normal to be afraid of those things. It's something you've been taught. I am sick of your pearl clutching about trans and LGBTQ people and how you're going to explain that to your children. I am sick of your pious version of prosperity Christianity, where because you believe a certain way or read a certain book, that somehow you are deserving of all that is good in the universe. And that's why you have everything that's good in the universe, not because of systems that are put in place to benefit you. Yeah. I am sick of you telling me about the vacations that you go on where you either stay on a super controlled resort or a cruise ship and then tell me you went someplace. You didn't. You changed locations, but you didn't actually go on a vacation unless you interacted with local people and tried to learn something about the culture. I am sick of you assuming incorrectly that the way someone speaks, that their dialect or accent determines their intelligence, because I assure you it does not. especially in the case of Black Americans. I am sick of your upholding white supremacy. I am sick of 90% of everything that white people do. I am sick of people making excuses for their bad behavior. I am sick of it. Really freaking sick of it. And that is why my circle is super small and I don't try to engage, because what's the point? What's the point? These people are beyond help and they give me fatigue, downright exhaustion. You're on my last nerve. That's my rant. Bye for now.
Grand Rising family, and welcome back. Now, it doesn't matter where I'm channeling this message from, because where I am, I'm outside, and outside, let me just talk to you. For years, for generations, Black people globally have warned about racism, oppression, and exploitation, and we spoke, and they ignored. Black people marched, they mocked, and even some of us, or some of Black people, died on the process of fighting or talking or marching, but they justified. But now something new is shifting. Something is now happening across the social media. When I go on TikTok, I go on Instagram or YouTube, even on college campuses, podcasts, and even in family dinners. Some white folks are saying this, that we messed up big time. And they are exposing what they were taught in private. They are confessing to the silent racism. They whispered privileged, the cultural theft, and the denial and the guilty. They are coming out and speaking about this. Now, what we are knowing for sure is that white people or white children are being taught in private how to treat Black people. And it's not just a fringe voice anymore. I've seen the videos I've played to you, and some are saying white supremacy doesn't just hurt Black people, it corrupts white souls too. And that is reality. I've been saying it for long. White people, or white people, the poor white people or middle class white people, are affected by this white supremacy too. And what I'm saying, that it's not just about Black people. And the videos that I've played you, these white folks have admitted that white America, there's a video, white America has no culture beyond dominance, that the entire identity is built on oppression, on suppression, and it is reality. And for the first time, this message aren't just landing, they are resonating, because we are resonating with it, because Black people have been saying this for decades. So the question we need to ask yourself, why now? We have something we call the fear of losing control. And here is the truth that they don't want to say it loud. The reason why voices are speaking up is because the system is cracking. A system that we thought is the greatest empire, it is cracking. Right now, Gen Z doesn't buy into lies. Black people are uniting. African nations are breaking away from colonial control. And the economic power is shifting. So the fear is setting in. The fear is growing up. The fear of losing control. Because white supremacy was never built to be questioned. White supremacy, it was built to dominate quietly, to benefit, to few, while gaslighting the rest. But now, even their own children are saying that I don't want to inherit the hate. Some white teens are confronting their parents at the dinner tables. Some white teens are learning the history and practicing the history. I have seen even white pastors on the congregation. They are talking about historical lies and stolen faith. They are preaching that. Some white creators are using platforms to say that we stole, we lied, we colonized, and it is time to stop. It is reality that things are changing. It is reality that there is a shift, and they are feeling it. I don't know if you are feeling the shift that is happening right now. This shift is creating tension within the white supremacy. It's creating tension within the systems. And it's not avoided. It can't be avoided. And that's why there are some of them are finally admitting the truth. The truth is there's no such thing like reverse racism. Many white people are now admit that being called colonizer online doesn't compare to centuries of slavery, genocide, segregation, massification, and economic sabotage. They are admitting that they were taught lies. Some white educators, some white professors, scholars are revealing that they were taught to believe Africa has no history, that blackness was inferior, that whiteness was the standard. They are admitting the systems benefit themselves, and they know it. You see, many are now saying that we didn't earn this life through hard work. No, we were born into a system that designed for us. They are here and they are saying it loud. They are talking about cultural appropriation. More and more white influencers are being honest, and they made money off black dance. They have made money off black music, black fashion, and even black speech. It is time. Others, they know that black people are right all along, like the videos I've played to you. Black people are the one who struggled. But many are now public apologizing, and I'm happy for that. But it's not that we didn't know this. The things they are speaking are the things that black people have been saying all along. And we know it is uncomfortable, but the truth shall set you free. Now, let me be clear in some things here. Just because some white people are waking up doesn't mean we let our guard down as black people. Doesn't mean we put our gloves down. Doesn't mean we raise the white towel up. We do not clap for delayed justice. We do not celebrate half-stepping accountability. What we do now is that we should stay focused, because this is not about them. It is about us black people. It is about hearing the black world, or it's about healing the black world. It's about uniting Africans and diaspora communities. It's about investing in our own schools and our own businesses and our own history. So we can appreciate, or we appreciate the truth tellers. We appreciate those who are telling the truth from their side, but we don't shift the mission. The mission is to remain focused. Some of them are allies, and we are fine. But we do not stop leading just because some white people have come out and talked the truth. We do not stop leading just because someone else decided to join the walk. Of course, you understand what I'm saying. We have been walking for centuries. Let's continue walking. Let not these messages confuse our mission, our ambition, and our vision. And let me just take a moment to talk about some white truth tellers that are actually risking to be cancelled to speak, because believe it or not, white supremacy doesn't play favorites. When white people start speaking up, their families often turn on of them. And even there's this white teen from South Africa, always 21 years old. He was talking and saying that his family, some of them are against him. Okay? Some even lose their jobs. Some even get targeted by hate people or hate groups or hate speeches. And this is because the system doesn't just operate or oppress black people. It feeds on silence. And anyone, black or white, who threatens that silence becomes a threat. So when a white person says that Black Lives Matters, they are not just stating a fact. They are rejecting centuries of false superiority. Okay? And when they say my ancestors were wrong, they are breaking generational pride. That's not easy task to carry. But again, that doesn't mean they are heroes. We have been living this truth as black people. So they are just starting to see it. So while some white people are waking up, black people around the world, we are rising up. In Kenya, you saw the youths are rejecting foreign exploitation. In Ghana, black Americans are building black wealth. In the US, black Americans are walking away from the system and building communities grounded in purpose. and pride. And something happening that what's pushing some white people to finally speak is that they can see the shift and they don't want to be left behind. The lies are no longer holding. The fear tactics are losing power. Black unity is terrifying to a system that survives on black division. Do you know the reason they create black division anytime, every time? Is because of this. The unity of black people is the greatest weapon we have, you know? But we are not divided. We aren't confused. We see what's happening and we know what time is it. It is our time. So don't be distracted. Stay focused. Okay, family, I need you to listen to this part carefully. When the system sees it's losing, it creates new distractions. You will hear white influencers suddenly praising black culture, but still centering themselves. You will see white-led documentaries about slavery, but no black leadership behind the scenes. You will see apologies, but no reparations. So don't fall for the performance. There's a difference between confession and correction. Let them talk, but don't lose your path. Okay? Build black businesses, start black schools, support foreign or African liberations, study your real history, protect your culture. The system can survive a focused black world. Okay? I will say this. The future is ours. Let's close on this. The future is ours. And yes, some white people are speaking truth right now. And yes, that's new, that's rare, that's unexpected. But you know what? The real story isn't about them. The real story is about us. The children of kings and queens, the builders of pyramids, the survivors of slavery, the rebels of colonization. We are the beginning and we are the future. And no system, let me tell you, no system, no apology, no confession, no performance will ever define us again. We are rising and we will know and the world knows it. Stay focused, stay proud, stay united. Until next episode, peace out.